Welcome back to Next Chapter Accountability, also known as NCA, the place where we stop pretending we have it all together and finally admit, listen, I have goals, I have dreams, I have notebooks, I have sticky notes, and somehow I still forgot why I walked into the room. I'm Angela, your accountability partner, your gentle but real reminder, and the person who will lovingly say, okay, friend, but did you actually do the thing? And today we are officially stepping into episode 1. Not the intro, not the warm up, not the let me test this microphone and pretend I know what all these buttons do episode. This is episode 1. And let me tell you, that matters. Because starting is a big deal. Sometimes we downplay the beginning because it doesn't look polished yet. It doesn't look fancy yet. It doesn't have a perfect logo, perfect lighting, perfect systems, perfect schedule, perfect outfit, perfect planner spread, perfect anything. But guess what? Starting still counts. Even if your voice shakes, even if your desk is messy, even if your notebook has 3 pages of ideas and then suddenly a grocery list. Even if your first attempt feels awkward. Even if you're still figuring it out as you go. Starting still counts. And that is what today's episode is about. Your next chapter. The one you keep thinking about. The one you keep praying about. The one you keep planning for. The one you keep saying you're going to start when things calm down. Friend, when exactly is that? Because life has been lifing since the beginning of time. Bills are going to bill, laundry is going to laundry, emails are going to email, people are going to people. And your brain is still going to convince you that buying one more planner is the missing piece to your breakthrough. Now listen, I am not judging. I'm a planner collector. I understand the emotional support notebook. I understand the fresh pen. I understand the way a brand new sticky note can make you feel like this is it. I'm a new woman. I'm organized now. And then 3 days later, the planner is under a pile of mail. The pen is missing. And the sticky note says something like, call her. Call who? Nobody knows. But here's the truth. Your next chapter does not require a perfect setup. It requires a decision. A small one. A real one. The decision to stop waiting for a magical version of yourself to show up and do all the work. Because I don't know about you, but I have waited on future me many times. Future me was supposed to be organized, drink more water, finish the project, clean out the closet, respond to the email. Future me was supposed to have a morning routine, a nighttime routine, a skincare routine, a meal prep routine, and somehow still have time to sit peacefully with tea like a woman in a commercial. Future me was booked and busy, but current me was tired, overwhelmed. Current me was looking at the task like, absolutely not. We will revisit this on Monday. And that is where accountability comes in. Because accountability is not punishment. Accountability is not shame. Accountability is not somebody yelling, you didn't do it. That is not accountability. That is just stress with a clipboard. Real accountability says, let's look at what you said you wanted. Let's look at what you actually did. Let's look at what got in the way. And let's decide what your next honest step is. Not your perfect step, not your impressive step, not your I'm going to change my entire life by Friday step. Your next honest step. Because most people do not need more pressure. They need more clarity. They need more support. They need more structure. And sometimes they need someone to lovingly say, friend, the goal is cute, but the plan is missing. Because we love a goal. Oh, we love a goal. We will write a goal down beautifully. We will put a star beside it. We will highlight it. We will rewrite it in a better notebook. We will create a vision board as I stare at my vision board right now. We will make a Pinterest board. We will say, this is my season. But when it is time to break that goal into small daily action, suddenly we need a nap. Again, no judgment, but let's be honest. A dream without a plan becomes a wish. A plan without action becomes decoration. And a notebook full of ideas without follow-through becomes, well, evidence. Evidence that you are creative, that you are full of potential, that you have vision, but also evidence that you may need support moving from idea to execution. And that is okay. That is not a character flaw. That is not laziness. That is not failure. That is being human. And I want to pause right here and say this clearly. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not too old, because according to Aaliyah, age is nothing but a number. You are not too messy. You are not disqualified because you had to start over. Your next chapter is not canceled just because the last chapter was hard. And trust me, I know something about hard chapters. Over the past 3 years, I survived 4 strokes. 4. And I say that not for pity. I say it because it changed the way I look at time. It changed the way I look at stress. It changed the way I look at waiting. It changed the way I look at all the things we keep putting off because we think we have forever. I used to think there would always be more time to start, more time to rest, more time to change, more time to build, more time to become the person I kept imagining. But life has a way of reminding you that tomorrow is not guaranteed. And I don't say that to scare you. I say that to wake you up with love. Because sometimes we are not stuck because we do not care. Sometimes we are stuck because we care so much that we freeze. We want it to be good. We want it to work. We want people to understand. We want to avoid failing. We want to avoid looking silly. We want to avoid starting something and then having to admit we didn't finish. So instead, we wait. We wait for confidence, for motivation, for more money, for the house to be cleaner, for the schedule to open up. We wait until we lose weight, until we feel ready. We wait until Monday. We wait until the first of the month. We wait until after the holiday. We wait until Mercury is no longer doing whatever Mercury does. Do you know what Mercury does? We wait. And while we wait, time keeps moving. Real talk. Waiting can feel safe because when we are waiting, you do not have to risk anything. You do not have to be seen. You do not have to make a decision. You do not have to face disappointment. You do not have to find out whether the thing works or not. Waiting lets you keep the dream in perfect condition because it never has to touch real life. But the problem is, dreams were not meant to live only in your head. They were meant to be lived, built, tested, adjusted, shared, sometimes failed at, sometimes restarted, sometimes taken one tiny, awkward step at a time. And let's talk about awkward steps, because the first step rarely feels powerful. Sometimes the first step feels like sending an email you have been avoiding. Sometimes it feels like opening the document and typing one sentence. Sometimes it feels like putting the laundry in the dryer because it has been sitting there long enough to need its own lease agreement. Sometimes the first step is not glamorous. It's not post-worthy. It's not main character energy. It is just responsible adult energy. And honestly, sometimes that is the breakthrough. Because we keep thinking the next chapter has to begin with a dramatic scene. Music playing, hair blowing in the wind, perfect outfit, clean desk, hot coffee or tea, laptop open, a candle lit, maybe a little soft jazz in the background. But sometimes your next chapter begins with you sitting on the edge of the bed saying, okay, I could do one thing today. One thing, not 27 things, not your entire life makeover. One thing. And let me tell you, one thing can change the whole mood. One phone call can open a door. One email can clear mental clutter. One walk can reset your nervous system. One honest conversation can shift a relationship. One budget review can change your financial direction. One application can create an opportunity. One boundary can protect your peace. One small step can remind you that you are not powerless. This is what NCA is about. Not perfection, not performance, not pretending. Progress, practical progress. The kind that works on a regular Tuesday when you are tired, your inbox is disrespectful, and dinner is looking like whatever is easiest. For us, that's a bowl of cereal on those nights. Because let's be honest, a lot of advice sounds good when life is calm. But what about when life is heavy? What about when you are exhausted? When you're healing? When your family needs you? When your job is stressful? What about when your body is telling you, ma'am, we are not doing all that today? That is when you need realistic accountability. Not the kind that says no excuses, because sometimes there are reasons. Sometimes you are carrying things people cannot see. Sometimes you are doing the best you can with the capacity you have. But realistic accountability also does not let you disappear on yourself. It says, okay, this is hard. What can we still do? That question has helped me so much. What can I still do? Not what can I do if I had unlimited energy? Not what can I do if life was perfect? Not what can I do if everyone left me alone and all my problems vanish? What can I still do today with what I have, where I am? That is powerful because it brings you back to the present. It reminds you that even when you cannot control everything, you can usually choose one next step. And today, I want you to think about your next chapter, not the fantasy version, the real one, the one that starts in your actual life, when your actual schedule, your actual energy, your actual responsibilities, your actual distractions, your actual laundry, your actual unread emails, your actual budget, your actual fears, your actual dreams. What chapter are you trying to enter? Is it a health chapter? A healing chapter? A business chapter? A financial chapter? A confidence chapter? A discipline chapter? A peace chapter? A I'm finally choosing me chapter? I'm done abandoning myself chapter? I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm doing something chapter. Whatever it is, I want you to know this. You do not need to have the whole staircase figured out. You need the next step. And I know that sounds simple, or maybe it doesn't, but simple does not mean easy. Because if you are anything like me, your brain can turn one step into a full conference. You say, I need to organize my closet. Then suddenly your brain says, okay, but first we need bins and labels and a new system and maybe a whole lifestyle change. And actually, let's watch 12 videos about closet organization. And now we're overwhelmed. So let's sit down. And by the way, if you create closet organization videos, please keep creating those. We will continue to watch them. Now, the closet is still messy, but we are very educated on clear storage containers. That is what overthinking does. It disguises itself as preparation. Now, preparation is good, planning is good, research is good, but when preparation becomes avoidance, we need to call it what it is. Real talk. Some of us are not confused. We are avoiding. We know the thing, we know the email, we know the conversation, we know the application, we know the habit, we know the appointment, we know the decision, we know. And again, no shame, avoidance usually has a reason. Fear, fatigue, embarrassment, uncertainty, resentment, perfectionism, burned out, lack of support, or just plain, I don't feel like dealing with this today. But avoidance has a cost. It charges interest. The longer you avoid something, the heavier it feels. That 5-minute task becomes a 3-week emotional burden. That one email becomes a whole personality issue. That unopened document starts looking at you from the desktop like, so we're just not going to talk. And the crazy part is, once you finally do the thing, you are usually like, that's it? That took 7 minutes. I suffered emotionally for 17 business days over 7 minutes. Yes. Yes, we did. And we will learn from that. Hopefully. Maybe. We are a work in progress. So today, I want us to build a new pattern. Instead of asking, how do I fix my whole life? Ask, what is the next honest thing? Not the biggest thing, not the easiest thing, not the cutest thing, the honest thing. The thing that would actually move you forward. The thing you keep circling around. The thing that would give you relief once it is done. The thing your future self would thank you for. Now, let's make this practical, because at NCA, we do not just talk about it. We do not just get inspired, although I do want you to be inspired. We do not just nod our heads and say, that was good, although I do want you to say that was good. No, we need an action step, because inspiration without action is just emotional entertainment. So here is today's practical action step. I call it the NCA one-step reset. Very fancy, very official. Sounds like it should come with a workbook and a pen that writes smoothly. Here is how it works. Step 1. Write down the next chapter you are trying to start. Just one sentence. Let me give you an example. I am starting my health chapter. I am starting my business chapter. I am starting my peace chapter. I am starting my consistency chapter. I am starting my financial reset chapter. I am starting my healing chapter. I am starting my I'm not playing with myself anymore chapter. Whatever feels true, write it down. Not in your head, on paper. Put it in the comments if you want as well, because your brain is crowded. Your brain has passwords, worries, random song lyrics, old conversations, grocery needs, and the name of somebody from high school you have not seen in 20 years. Do not make your brain hold your whole transformation plan. Write it down. Drop it in the comments. Step 2. Under that sentence, write down 3 things you have been avoiding. Just 3, not 30. We are not trying to emotionally body slam ourselves today. 3. It could be the email, the appointment, the budget, the closet, the content idea, the application, the uncomfortable conversation, the workout, the meal plan, the invoice, the phone call, the project you keep saying you are going to finish. Write down 3. Please be honest. Do not write the fake productivity thing. You know how we do. Rewrite something like organized pens. Friend, unless your pens are actively blocking your destination, that may not be the thing. What are you really avoiding? Write that down. Step 3. Circle the one that would give you the most relief if it were done. Not the one that makes you look good, not the one that feels easiest. The one that would make your shoulders drop. The one that would make you say, okay, I feel lighter. Circle that one. Step 4, break it down into a 10-minute action. Not the whole task, a 10-minute action. It could be 10 to 15 minutes. If the task is clean the whole house, the 10-minute action might be clearing one counter. If the task is start the business, the 10-minute action might be writing one service description. If the task is fix my finances, the 10-minute action might be opening your banking app and writing down what is actually going on. If the task is getting healthier, the 10-minute action might be filling your water bottle and taking a short walk. If the task is finish the project, the 10-minute action might be opening the file and writing the next 3 bullet points. And step 5, set a timer for 10 minutes and do it. That is it, 10 minutes. Not because 10 minutes will change your whole life immediately, but because 10 minutes breaks the spell. Avoidance has a spell. It makes the thing look bigger than it is. Action breaks that spell, especially tiny action. Now, here is the rule. When the timer goes off, you are allowed to stop, so please stop. You do not have to keep going. You can, but you do not have to. Because we are not using this as a trick to bully ourselves into 2 hours of work. We are building trust with ourselves. And trust is built when you do what you said you were going to do. If you said 10 minutes, do 10 minutes. That counts. That's progress. That's a win. And I need us to celebrate small wins again. Because somewhere along the way, we started acting like small wins do not matter. But small wins are how big change is built. You answered the email, win. You scheduled the appointment, win. You drank water before coffee, big win. You opened the document you have been avoiding, win. You walked for 10 minutes, win. You said no and did not write a full courtroom defense explaining why, huge win. You moved the laundry to the dryer before it developed an attitude, standing ovation. Small wins matter because they remind your brain, I am a person who follows through. And some of us need that reminder because life, trauma, stress, exhaustion, disappointment, and burnout can make you stop trusting yourself. You say you are going to do something and then you do not. Not because you are bad, because you're overwhelmed. But after a while, your confidence starts to take hits. And confidence is not only built by thinking positive thoughts, confidence is built by keeping small promises to yourself. That is the heart of accountability. Keeping small promises again and again, even when it is not exciting, even when nobody claps, even when it is just you, your planner, and a pen you definitely did not need, but absolutely deserve. So here's your challenge for this week. Choose one chapter, choose one avoided task, choose one 10-minute action, do it, then celebrate it. not with a full vacation unless you have vacation money. And I know y'all got vacation money, but let's use wisdom. Celebrate by saying out loud, I did that. Celebrate by checking it off. Celebrate by texting someone, I handled one thing today. Celebrate by letting us know in the chat. Celebrate by giving yourself a moment to feel proud before rushing to the next problem. Because that is another thing we do. We finish something and immediately move the goalposts. No. Pause. Honor the progress. You are allowed to feel proud of small steps. You are allowed to be encouraged by tiny movement. You are allowed to say, this may not look like much to someone else, but it matters to me. Because the next chapter is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's private. Sometimes it looks like healing. Sometimes it looks like discipline. Sometimes it looks like rest. Sometimes it looks like finally doing the boring thing you have been avoiding. Sometimes it looks like admitting, I need help. Sometimes it looks like starting over without announcing it to the whole world. And starting over is brave. Do not let anyone make you feel embarrassed about starting again. Starting again means you still believe something is possible. Starting again means you did not give up completely. Starting again means there is still a part of you that knows your story is not finished. And friend, your story is not finished. Angela's story is not finished. ACA's story is not finished. Your next chapter is not canceled. It may need a new plan, a slower pace, more rest, better boundaries, support, and honesty. It may need you to stop waiting for the perfect time and start with the time you have. So, before we close today, I want you to take a breath with me. Inhale. Exhale. Again. Inhale. Exhale. Now, say this to yourself. My next chapter is not canceled. I do not need perfect conditions to begin. I can take one honest step today. I am allowed to start small. I am building trust with myself. I am still becoming. That is your reminder for the week. You are still becoming. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not done. You are not disqualified because you had a hard chapter. You are allowed to turn the page. And this week, your assignment is simple. Do the NCA one-step reset. Write down your chapter. Write down 3 things you are avoiding. Circle the one that would bring the most relief. Break it into a 10-minute action. Set the timer. Do the thing and then celebrate the small win. And when you celebrate, do not minimize it. Do not say it was only 10 minutes. No, say I showed up because you did, and showing up counts. Thank you for spending this time with me on Next Chapter Accountability. I'm Angela, your accountability partner, your planner-loving, pen-collecting, notebook-buying friend who believes in grace, humor, real talk, and doing the next right thing, even when life is messy. Remember, progress over perfection, grace over guilt, action over overthinking, and tiny wins over giant imaginary plans we never actually start. Your next chapter is not canceled. Now go do your one thing, and yes, drinking water counts, but only if you actually drink it. I'll meet you in the next episode. Until then, stay encouraged, stay honest, and stay accountable. Welcome to your next chapter.